Caitlin Clark reveals plans to bring Kate Martin to the Indiana Fever. The WNBA's biggest rookie just announced her first major recruiting target. In a shocking interview, Clark confirmed she wants to reunite with former Iowa teammate Kate Martin. This isn't just talk. Clark laid out specific plans to make it happen. I don't think there is. But long term she talks, but as she does want to play, as Martin dominates in Unrivaled and proves herself as a starter caliber player. Clark's announcement hits different. The former Iowa duo could reshape the Fever's future. Their on-court chemistry at Iowa was legendary, but the timing of this revelation raises huge questions about when and how this reunion might happen. The timing of Caitlin Clark's announcement about wanting to recruit Kate Martin is fascinating when you really dig into it. This isn't just another player making casual comments about wanting to play with a friend. What makes this particularly interesting is how Clark chose this specific moment to make her intentions known. Right now, Kate Martin is absolutely crushing it in Unrivaled. She's not just playing well, she's showing everyone exactly why she deserves to be in the conversation as one of the most promising young talents in professional basketball. This isn't about being Caitlin Clark's former teammate anymore. Martin has carved out her own identity, and that's exactly what makes Clark's announcement so significant. Honestly, I think Caitlin Clark is probably happier seeing, especially early on in her career, Kay Martin make a name for herself. Like, as good as Kay Martin was, Kay Martin was even talking about it when she was in Iowa, basically being about the huge crowd. She was like, oh well, in a few more weeks, there's going to be regular people again. Let's look at how Martin got here. When she first joined the Aces, some people questioned whether she only made the roster because of her connection to Clark. Those doubts couldn't have been more wrong. Martin earned her spot through hard work and talent, but what's really impressive is what she's done since then. In Unrivaled, she's been the standout rookie. We're talking about 3 consistently solid performances. The way Martin plays is exactly what teams are looking for in today's professional basketball. She's got that rare combination of three-point shooting ability and defensive prowess. When you watch her play, you see someone who understands the game at a deep level. She's not just out there playing. She's reading the game, making smart decisions, and impacting both ends of the floor. Now, let's talk about why Clark's timing with this announcement is so strategic. She specifically mentioned that fans shouldn't get too excited yet, acknowledging that this is a long-term goal. This shows incredible maturity from Clark. She understands that both she and Martin need time to establish themselves independently in the professional ranks before any potential reunion. The professional relationship between Clark and Martin has evolved in an interesting way. They're not just former teammates anymore. They're competitors who genuinely push each other to be better. You can hear it in Clark's voice when she talks about their rivalry. There's this perfect mix of competitive fire and genuine respect that makes their dynamic so compelling. What's particularly noteworthy is how Clark talks about Martin's development. She's clearly been watching her former teammates' games, analyzing her progress, and thinking about how their skills could complement each other at the professional level. This isn't just wishful thinking. It's a calculated assessment of how they could potentially work together in the future. The Fever's current roster construction makes this whole situation even more interesting. When you look at what the team needs, Martin's skill set would fit perfectly. They could use someone who can space the floor with reliable three-point shooting, while also providing strong defense. The fact that she already has chemistry with Clark would be an added bonus. Looking at the broader WNBA landscape, you start to understand why Clark would want to recruit a player like Martin. The league doesn't have many true 3-and-D players, those who can both shoot from distance and play solid defense. Players like Bridget Carlton, Kayla McBride, and Leonie Fibish are among the few who fit this mold. Martin has shown she has the potential to join this elite group. What's fascinating is how both players have handled their transition to professional basketball. Clark came in with enormous expectations as one of the most hyped rookies in WNBA history. Martin, on the other hand, has had to prove herself at every step, yet both have approached their professional careers with the same level of dedication and work ethic that made them successful at Iowa. The way Clark talks about potentially playing together again shows how much thought she's put into this. She's not just thinking about next season or the season after. She's thinking about building something sustainable. When she mentions wanting to recruit Martin, somehow, some way, you can hear the determination in her voice. This isn't just a casual comment. It's part of a longer-term vision. The fact that Martin could potentially be a starter for the Valkyries speaks volumes about her development. This isn't something many would have predicted when she first entered the professional ranks, but through consistent performance and hard work, she's put herself in a position where teams have to take notice. It's exactly this kind of development that validates Clark's interest in recruiting her. The basketball IQ both players possess is another factor that makes this potential reunion so intriguing. At Iowa, they showed an almost telepathic understanding on the court. But now, with both of them gaining professional experience and developing their games independently, imagine how that chemistry could translate to the WNBA level. From a team-building perspective, what Clark is suggesting makes a lot of sense. The Fever are in a position where they need to think about both the present and the future. Having players who already know how to play together, who understand each other's games, and who have proven they can succeed at the highest level. That's invaluable. Looking at how Martin has performed in Unrivaled, it's clear she's more than just a role player. She's showing the kind of versatility that WNBA teams covet. Her ability to defend multiple positions, knock down shots from the perimeter, and make. When we look at the potential impact of Kate Martin joining the Fever, we need to consider how the team's dynamics could change. Right now, the Fever are building something special. They could have actually drafted Martin. And looking back, that would have made a lot of sense. The team needs exactly what she brings: tough rebounding, versatile defense, and reliable three-point shooting. This whole situation shows how much the WNBA landscape has changed. Think about it. The Fever are still paying some former players' contracts, including Emily Engsler, who would have been perfect for their current needs. They even paid Celeste Taylor's contract last year, while she played against them. These are the kind of roster decisions that make you appreciate how valuable someone like Martin could be. The Valkyries situation is particularly interesting. They're not going to be the worst team in the W next year, and Martin might end up being a starter for them. That's huge progress for someone who some critics initially dismissed as just Caitlin Clark's teammate. She's been absolutely hooping in Unrivaled, And if there was a Young Player of the Year award for players under 24, she'd likely be second only to Ryan Howard. What makes Martin's development so impressive is how she's handled the transition to professional basketball. Living in San Francisco, making her own name, proving herself independently. This is exactly what Clark seems happy about. You can tell Clark wants Martin to establish herself separately before any potential reunion. It's not about being Caitlin Clark's friend anymore. It's about two accomplished professionals potentially joining forces. The scarcity of true 3-and-D players in the WNBA makes Martin's skill set particularly valuable. Looking around the league, you've got players like Bridget Carlton, Kayla McBride, Leon Fibich, but the list isn't long. There are plenty of defensive specialists who can't shoot and shooters who struggle on defense, but finding someone who can do both is rare. That's what makes Martin's development so important. Think about players like Jackie Young and Kalia Copper. They score and play defense, but they're not primarily three-point shooters. Young doesn't take many threes, even though she's not a bad shooter. Then you've got Michelle Okonon, who has the potential to develop into that role. But overall, the 3-and-D archetype remains one of the most important, yet undervalued positions in the WNBA. The timing of this potential reunion is crucial. Clark emphasized that they've got a few years on that, showing she understands the importance of letting things develop naturally. This isn't about making a splash move right away. It's about building something sustainable. Both players need time to establish themselves and continue developing their games. Looking at the Fever's roster construction, you can see why Clark would want Martin on the team. The Fever need players who can complement their stars while contributing on both ends of the floor. Martin's ability to space the floor with her shooting while providing solid defense would give them exactly what they're missing. Add in the existing chemistry with Clark, and you can see why this could be a perfect fit. The way both players have approached their professional careers shows why this potential reunion could work. They're not the same players they were at Iowa. They've both grown and developed. Clark has adapted to being the face of a franchise, while Martin has proven she can succeed in different roles and systems. This growth would make their reunion even more interesting than their college partnership. Remember when Martin talked about how they'd just be regular people after leaving Iowa? Well, she's proven that wrong in the best possible way. She's establishing herself as a legitimate WNBA player, and that's exactly what makes Clark's recruitment plans so intriguing. This isn't about recreating their college dynamic. It's about two professionals who could help each other succeed at the highest level. The fact that Clark specifically mentioned wanting to recruit Martin shows how much thought she's put into this. She's not just thinking about next season, she's thinking about building a sustainable future with the Fever. When you look at successful WNBA teams, having players who understand each other's games and can grow together is often a key factor. The competitive aspect of their current relationship is fascinating. Clark joked about finally having a chance to beat Martin, referencing how the Fever couldn't get a win against the Aces last season. This friendly rivalry has helped both players improve, and it could make their potential reunion even more powerful. They've pushed each other to get better while playing against each other. Imagine what they could do as teammates again. Martin's success in Unrivaled has really changed the conversation. If there was a Rookie of the Year award in the league, she'd be the front runner. She's had 3 solid games, consistently showing why she belongs at the professional level. This performance has validated her potential and shown exactly why Clark would want to play with her again. The basketball fit makes perfect sense too. The Fever could really use someone with Martin's skill set. A player who can guard multiple positions, knock down open shots, and make smart decisions with the ball. When you add in the existing chemistry with Clark, you can see why this could be a game-changing move for the franchise. Looking at the broader implications for the WNBA, this situation shows how the league is evolving. Young players are taking more control of their careers, thinking strategically about their futures, and being open about their goals. Clark's announcement about wanting to recruit Martin isn't just about 2 former teammates wanting to play together again. It's about players actively shaping their professional futures. The reaction to this news shows how much interest there is in seeing these 2 play together again. But both players seem to understand that timing is everything. They need to establish themselves independently, continue developing their games, and let things develop naturally. This mature approach suggests that if they do end up playing together again, it will be at the right time for both their careers. The impact on the Fever's future could be significant. Having 2 players who already know how to play together, who understand each other's games, and who have proven they can succeed at different levels, that's invaluable for a team building for the future. Add in their individual growth since college, and you can see why this potential reunion has people excited. And there you have it, the full story behind Clark's plans to reunite with Kate Martin. If you want to stay updated on all the latest WNBA news